that even mean, Bowers Game
Here
Corner?
at YouTube, I'm back again today for another Bowers Play, where I play a game against myself. And today I'm very excited to be playing What Are the Rules again? This is for ages 12 plus. It's for 3 to 6 players. And you say, Bower, normally I would play this 2 players against yourself. Well, this game's a little bit different because you can't actually play it 2 players, but 1 player has to sit off to the side and be what's called the GM. They have to make sure that all the rules are fair, that no one is getting, bullied or picked on in the game or having rules, reversed or different things like that. They essentially keep the game flowing smoothly, but I feel like my brain can keep my left hand and my right hand in check, so we're going to set this game up. How do you start the game? First thing I'm going to do is the GM is going to fill out the core rules. And this is, by the way, is the Game Crafter Game of the Month. You should check out the link down below if it interests you. So the players are going to start with, how about 2 cards? We'll each start with 2 cards. So 2 cards for you and 2 cards for you. Players are going to start with, we'll go 4 health. So we'll put in 4 little check boxes here. And the GM has stated that you cannot go over 4 health. So it doesn't help you at all. All right. Blank has the first turn. We'll go with R for right hand has the first turn. At the start of a player's turn, they're going to draw 1 card. Players may only make the rules at the start of their turn after drawing, or if an action targets them. So right now, we could make a rule because we are going to play 1 card. So currently, there's not many rules in the game. In fact, there's not many rules at all, which means I now have to start making the rules. So I could decide what the win condition of the game is, or I could decide what happens when I play a red card, or a star, or a green square. But I'm going to get on the win condition. I'm going to say that if you are able to kill your opponent, we're going to make this a real simple kill your opponent kind of game. First down to 0 health loses the game. So I have made a rule, kill your opponent. Now, once you get into the more intermediate rule sheets and eventually up to the advanced rule sheet, you can have more than 1 win condition. You can have all sorts of crazy shenanigans going on. And actually, as you play this game, you will start to think of more layers that you could add to the game. Also, we have rules guidelines, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Now, this person's going to play a card. They play the red card. So what does the red card do? Well, we have to have something that this card does, right? It has to be an action, which means normally, this person would then get to make the rule because they're targeted by an action, aka this red star card. But since they have already made a rule this turn, it goes to the next person. So this player is going to get to make the rule about what happens when you play a red card or a star card. And I think that they would say, since they have a red card in their hand, they'd say whenever you play a star card, you lose a life. You lose 1 life. And they look to the ref, and he's like, is that fair? And he says, well, it's only 1 life. You don't have to play any more star cards. He says, I'll allow it. So when you play a star, you lose a life. And he's like, shouldn't have made the rule at the beginning. And all of a sudden, you see the game in the game. All right, so they played the card, moves on to the next player. So they are going to draw a card. Ooh, a green star. Don't want to play that one. And they're going to play this by the book, I think. We're going to be interesting with the left hand. We're just going to draw one of the rule guideline cards each and every time and make a rule about that. The first player to end their turn with blank cards in their hand, well, that's a win condition. Can't do that one. Blank cards cannot be played from a player's hand. Cannot be played from a player's hand. Blank cards, so red cards cannot be blank from a player's hand. I don't like that one. If a player has a blank of every color and shape, this is a win condition. All right? I'll think of my own rules. You know what? I'm done with your rule guideline cards. We'll try you next turn. So I'm going to say if you play a blue card, you can, what can you do? You can grab a token. Grab 1 token. 1 token. Boom. You get to grab 1 token blindly. We'll put blindly with your eyes closed. Boop. That's not what their eyes is open. So we're just going to close. You get it. So 1 token. It's secret because, I'm going to add another rule later. We'll get into that. Over here on the right side, they're like, ooh, what are we doing with tokens? So they draw a card, start off the game. Now they have to make a rule. They're going to play an orange. They're going to play a square. So maybe they say, if you play an orange, you gain a health. Gain a life. Gain 1 life. And the GM says, yeah, that's totally legal. We're fine with that. You gain an orange. You gain a life. Boom. Triangle doesn't do anything yet. So how we played this, it doesn't actually cover it in the rules, is that as long as your card triggers one thing or your dice roll triggers one thing, you can ignore the other thing. But eventually both things will happen. And that's just how we played it. And with a game like this, you actually have to house rule the games because it's not covered in the rule booklet. This is actually instruction manuals for a lamp. That's the wrong thing. But you get what I'm saying there. You get the gist. So we gain our life back. Boom. We'll just put this heart here to let us know it's cool. Everything's cool right there. And then we go back over this way. And I say, do I have an orange? I don't have an orange. Draw a card. Play a card. Why do they have 4 cards? I feel like they're cheating. It happens. What are they going to do? What are they going to do here? Body armor. So if you play... Ooh, we have a star. You play a green. Gain 1 body armor? No. Reverse. Ooh, I got it. Here we go. If you play a green... reverse the shape effect. How about that? Is that legal? And I look at the judge, and the judge is me, and I'm saying, all right, how's this game going to be interesting? Is this game going to be interesting if I allow this rule to fly? And I say yes. And the fact that there's only been one rule that's been classified on the shapes makes me think this is a good rule. So what I'm going to say is, all right, we're going green, and we're going to reverse the shape effect. So instead of losing a life, we would gain a life. Wait, that's, we don't need a life. Why do we do that? Well, it's still cool, but that was dumb because we already classified at the beginning you can't gain any more health. So, yeah, let's all just mock my left hand and move on to my right. All right. That's probably why they're cheating, because they suck. All right, so now we do have to worry about that green because we have a green, we have a square. So we have a lot of squares. We have 3 squares. We probably want to lock down squares right now and say... attack one opponent. Yeah. And it's sure in a 2-player game, well, in a 3-player game, because technically the GM would be playing, it's not going to be as interesting because you're always going to be attacking the other person, but it's still necessary. So we would say attack one opponent. One opponent. Yeah, that sounds great. That seems legit, especially with the 3 squares in our hand. So now, so this would be attack. So what would be the opposite of attack one opponent, though? We have to classify that. So instead of attacking one opponent, you attack yourself? Yeah, it'd be attack yourself. So there we go. We all agree. So if you play a green square, it's attack yourself. And now this player's like, dang nabbit, I didn't think of the consequences of my card when I made the rule. And that's actually what we found when we played this on game night, which I could have recorded that, but it wouldn't have worked as well, I don't think. Because there were like long pauses as people thought about their rules. So anywho, what are we playing now? We're going to go orange, gain a life, and attack an opponent? Yeah. No, we'll do the red square. So red square, attack opponent. Boom! Take a damage. Yeah. Back over here, left player. They have a square. They have a red square, and they can classify what red does. How about double square effect, double shape effect? Boom. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Double shape effect. And you say, hey, if you're allowing us to reverse the shape effect, then double the shape effect just makes sense. And they say, yes, it does. Red square. And then this is where you could, even if you get intermediate advanced rules, you could add other things where if you were to match the last card played, you could do something else special or something like that. Anywho, so double shape effect, attack opponent. We go bye-bye heart, bye-bye bam. We're down to 2 health, goes over here. We really need to heal. Do we have, we have the green square. That would hurt ourselves. We don't want to play that. We have the orange square. Orange gains a life and attack opponent. Yes, please. We didn't make a rule, though. We should make a rule. So we should do something. Nothing happened with the tokens. We got in too much of a commotion. What did I draw? A yellow triangle. We should lock down yellow and say yellow rolls the dice. Yellow rolls the dice. Sure, and then it locks that. Yellow rolls dice. So essentially, instead of having 2 things happen, you'll have 3 things happen because you'll roll the dice, which will give you 2 things that will happen, and then you'll also have your shape. So you would have 3 things that would happen. Interesting. Okay, so back over to this player here. They draw a card. They still have 4 cards. I think they're cheating. Triangle has not been classified. Star. Oh wait, they played the orange square, so they gained a life, and they attacked an opponent. Is that what they did? Yeah, that's what they did. So that was a big one. So back here, fill that in, and then Attack opponent. So now we're down 2 health. Okay. We got blue star. Grab 1 token. What do we know? What do we know about tokens? What do we know about tokens? I don't even know what to do with tokens. And that's one thing. I feel like there needs to be a little bit more on the sheet, because I don't know, like, what do tokens do? Or I suppose tokens just could be turned in, yeah, to just do whatever the effect is. Holy moly! So we could, great. I could lose a life. That's fun, but it's a blue one, so it would be grab a token and lose life. That does not seem great. All right. We need to think of what we're going to do here. We have to do something. We have 2 triangles. Triangles are the way to go. Rolling the dice seems fine. Oh yeah, that's what we're going to do. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll classify triangle, and we'll say triangle is Our triangle is steal a card. Yeah. Let's make that a little get some. So I'm stealing a card from you. Wow. That's rough. And I roll the dice. And I roll the dice again because I double triggered it. And there's no circle, which means we would still do the one that we could do, which would be the rolls of the dice, I would imagine. That's where we'd get into a situational rule there. Red means we're going to double the shape effect. And the shape effect is to lose a life, and we just killed ourselves. And that's the craziness that is what are the rules again? And it's I will say, of the games that I've played of this ilk, these make your own rules style games, which I don't immediately scoff at. A lot of people do. I think they're kind of a neat concept. I think this one's my favorite, and I don't even use the rules guidelines. I imagine that could make me it even better. I wish the advanced version had a backside. I want more, but I guess at that point, if I want more, I should just look into designing a game in itself. But it's still a very interesting game. That is What Are the Rules again? It looks like it might be your cup of tea. Be sure to check this one out on the GameCrafter link down below. Also, if you are interested in making your own game, you should check out this game, obviously, because it'll probably help you out, give you some ideas. But consider using the GameCrafter to manufacture, to make your prototype. They do a fantastic job of that. They got tons and tons of components that you can check out. You can even deluxify your other games with the components they have there. When they go to conventions, they bring like this candy store set up where it looks like a candy store, and you can just go in and buy components. They weigh it by the pound. It's fantastic. But anywho, completely off the rails. That's What Are the Rules again. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below, and have a good day.